Depends on what the U.S. economy is doing. The markets in Asia are more correlated right now with the U.S. markets than I've seen in quite some time. And the question is, to what extent will the U.S. economy and U.S. markets hold up? And on that, I think there are serious issues. One of the issues is that, as you mentioned before, the trade war that Donald Trump is continuing to pursue and making offers that people perhaps don't understand, don't want to take, but don't understand, to continue your Don Corleone movie script there. The biggest issue is, will the United States be able to avoid an economic downturn in coming months?
And this is critical, too, for the negotiations going on with China, because it seems to me the White House is rather confident that they have the upper hand when it comes to their own growth outlook. We've heard Larry Kudlow talk to CNBC now repeatedly about what's going on in China's own economy. And they think, look, their economy is weakening, ours is strengthening, therefore we win. Is that a fair assumption?
Well, that's a very wrong assumption, and I happen to know Larry quite well from previous associations in the United States, and he's a good economist, but this one he's got dead wrong. I think the actual risk at the moment in this trade war does not lie in China, but lies in the United States. The San Francisco Fed yesterday pointed out in a new report that we will soon have a situation in which, actually the longer-term interest rates will drop below the shorter-term rates. And under those circumstances, there's the possibility of recession. This is something that Ben Bernanke had warned about earlier this year. So we have to see whether or not the actual tax cut-driven economic upturn in the United States is sustainable. I do not believe it is. And once higher prices hit the U.S. consumer, as these tariffs actually begin to bite from goods imported from China, then these dangers become very real.
Uwe, walk us through where you're bullish, because you've said you're bullish on the Chinese government. What else looks particularly attractive to you right now?
Well, we're looking at China in terms of the fixed income market. The fixed income market in China, we believe that China has delevered very successfully over the past several months and will continue to do so. This is positive fixed income. The credit cycle in China is pointing up. So we have a good situation for bond investment in China. We also have a similarly good situation in Southeast Asia, especially in Thailand, but also to some extent, at least, in Indonesia. So we are looking at Asia from the fixed income standpoint at this point, more so than from the standpoint of equities.
Uwe, we've been talking this morning, as you know, about the NAFTA agreement, and the conversation seems to be headed that even if President Trump comes out and really kind of pulls another tweet like he did with China, that this does seem at least to be moving forward, at least for now. Can we see something like that, do you think, in the conversations that the U.S. government is happening with the Chinese? Yesterday we were talking about, are the right people involved? Did they bring the right people to the table to effect some kind of change? What's your take?
Well, it depends on really who maintains the upper hand in the White House. If people like Navarro and the trade hawks are going to win out, then their assumption is that they can beat up the Chinese economy and that they will simply win outright. Nothing of the sort is going to happen. If they're continuing to insist that China abandon its 2025 plan of actually becoming a modernized economy that can, act on a par with the United States. That's not going to happen because China is not going to abandon its own vision of the future. If, on the other hand, this is simply a matter of trade and investment, and we are going to be pragmatic about it, then there's progress possible. So let's see what Mnuchin has to say. Maybe he can get back into the game and prevail over people like Navarro and Lighthizer.
Hey everybody, it's Hadley Gamble from our new CNBC Middle East Bureau in Abu Dhabi. Thanks for stopping by. Now to watch more, you can try one of the videos that just popped up on your screen. And don't forget to subscribe.